The Scars That Made Him by Tania Hema. Once there was a poor little boy, not poor in coins, but in comfort, not poor in food, but in love. He had a mother who held a bottle tighter than her children, who traded bedtime stories for silence and babysitters. She didn't know the sitter wore a smile like a wolf wears fur, pretty, but hiding teeth. The poor little boy was left in that house again and again and again, his body learning what his mind couldn't name. In school, when the word sex was said, he tilted his head like a puppy chasing a sound. "What's that?" he asked, honest, small. The class laughed. A boy yelled, "When a penis goes in," and the teacher turned, just in time, to hear the poor little boy say, "Oh, I've done that heaps of times at home." The room froze. The teacher didn't. She pointed to the corner, not the pain, punished the words, not the wound. He grew into a teenager with shame in his bones, carrying hands taught by trauma, not by consent. He touched someone wrong because someone had touched him worse. The school system failed him just like his mother failed him. He grew up, but never out of the ache. Years passed. He wore cologne, wore muscles, wore confidence like armor over an abandoned child. He became a man who never let women leave, not because he loved them, but because he feared empty rooms. He cheated, not for thrill, but for survival. If one left, another would still be there to say he mattered. But he didn't believe them, not really. Because how do you trust a kiss when your first touch was betrayal? He told women he loved them, but didn't know what love was, just that it sometimes came with skin and silence and left without warning. He hurt women the way he was taught love feels, then hated himself for becoming the echo of someone else's crime. He'd lie awake sometimes, beside a warm body, colder than he'd ever felt, wondering if the boy inside him was still screaming in the corner of that first classroom, wondering why nobody came. He tried therapy, walked into the office with trembling hands and sat down like a guilty child. He said, "I don't know who I am when I'm not being touched." He said, "I think the first woman who loved me was trying to erase me." He said, "Sometimes I don't want to exist, but I'm too stubborn to leave." The therapist said, "You were hurt." He shook his head. "No, I was made that way." And still, some nights, he dreams of the sister who said, "I got you," and didn't. He dreams of the girl he hurt who looked at him like he was the monster under her bed. And he wonders if the monster had a mother who drank herself numb. The poor little boy never really left. He just grew taller, learned to flirt, learned to fake charm, and hide the rot.